Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Note to Self. Today, I am really excited because I'm going to bring forth the topic that is how to bounce back after a funk. So, I recently found myself in some funky energy at the beginning of February. I was feeling under the weather for about a week and a half, and it really took me out. It had been many years since I've had something like a cold come into my reality and take me out, and I just felt like I was operating on 5 to 10% battery power. And with my body and my energy in that state, I just noticed how easy it was to follow the unserving thoughts, to start to spiral out in ways or allow fears more effortlessly and easily into my mind. And I had the awareness, of course, that I was not feeling very well, and so the body was sponsoring thoughts, and the fact that I was mostly resting all day and I felt a bit bored. I really wanted to take action on a bunch of ideas that I had. I recognized where I was at. And that's the first step here is bring awareness to what is in your reality. Bring awareness to the things that are presently influencing you in this funk. You might be feeling under the weather like I was, or something in your reality might have happened that perhaps triggered you emotionally. Just bring awareness to what, if anything, is influencing or are the influencers here that could be making it a little bit more easy for me to fall into the not so happy thoughts, or we'll call them the lies, the stories that aren't serving me. So once you bring awareness to that, it can start to let yourself off of the hook, kind of like this energy, like, okay, I don't need to carry this heaviness anymore. I don't need to carry these lies. They feel heavy in my body. Remember, truth is light and lies are heavy. And I'm just going to start putting them down, giving myself permission to put them down, recognizing that, yeah, it's a natural part of the human experience to have highs and to have lows. And I'm seeing this for what it is. I'm seeing this clearly, and I'm choosing now to do something about it. And when it comes to choosing to do something about it, first, when I bring awareness to the state that I'm in, I like to choose a powerful and positive reframe. And it could be like simply, I am learning, and starting to think into the things that you're learning, or I am integrating right now, or I am purging, or I am releasing, depending, let's say, if the body is moving through something. For me, I found that the most empowering reframe on being taken out for the week and a half was, I am going through a portal right now. Because what I recognized was that while I was unable to take action, I recognized that I was so incredibly excited about and energized about all the ideas I had for my life this year, that I really wanted to be able to have that 100% battery power to get them going. So I realized, wow, this is so important to me. It brought awareness to that inner spark or their inner fire, especially when it comes to career for me. So in that, like in the powerful reframe, I then created a space for myself to start to feel empowered and start to go up an upward spiral versus the downward spiral, keep continuing to empower myself. And as you can recognize, as I've spoken a little bit into, oftentimes when we are in a funk, it is because we chose to follow a disempowering thought that might have come from a trigger, or it could have just been a rogue fear that entered our mind. But if we continue to follow the disempowering thoughts, we'll continue to perpetuate a disempowered feeling in our being. But if we choose, again, to create a reframe once we have awareness and follow that reframe and start to create a world around that reframe, we find ourselves in an upward spiral. We find ourselves empowered. And again, just simply even doing this can shake a funk right off. But I'm going to share with you more of the steps to really get yourself into a better feeling state. Of course, no emotions are good or bad. It's just what they mean to us and the meaning that we create them. But how to get yourself back to feeling like you. So what I typically do is journal every day. But when I found myself in this most recent funk, I started to journal about what am I learning about myself and what am I really ready to shed and let go of, and who am I becoming? So it's almost like with the reframe that I had is I'm going through a portal right now. I decided to create this world of what this portal was doing for me. First of all, this portal was having me shed a lot of unconscious fears or subconscious fears that were perhaps stuck in my body, my mind, or my spirit that I was just ready to bring into awareness and say goodbye, see you never. And in that letting go, in that releasing, there's spaciousness. And I decided that in the spaciousness, I was going to create who I was becoming this year. I was going to refine it. So I spent time journaling and meditating and creating worlds and thinking deeply into this reality, which I had the space and time because I was resting quite a bit. But for those of you who may not actually have the time to spend a day doing this or like resting doing this, carve out time in the evening, carve out time in the morning. Morning and evening are excellent times to prime your mind. So just create the space for you, right? Recognizing if there is funky energy there, the sooner that you can tend to yourself, the better. And my next tip here is to choose to take care of your body. So simple things that I did was choose to take a bath, right? Choose to spend some time just relaxing, just allowing myself to feel that cleansing. I ordered my favorite hair mask from Amazon. Thank you, Amazon, because I wasn't going anywhere. And I did a hair treatment for myself. I also did face masks. I love indulging in these self-nurturing actions and activities because even though I was feeling under the weather, I felt like I'm tending to myself. I'm taking care of myself. Again, this feeling, those stories or continuing to tell myself and witness that in myself, I was on the upward spiral. I was going back to my most empowered state of being. Choosing to take care of myself and witnessing that, again, is always such a big step. Even if I find myself feeling tired, like, oh, I don't really have the energy to have a bath right now, or I don't really have the energy to put on a face mask. If I choose to take that action, I always feel better. So connecting with how I'll feel on the other side is always a powerful way to move myself forward if I feel there's resistance. It's kind of like going to the gym or moving your body. And that's also on my list here when it comes to choosing to take care of your body. It might not just be having a bath or doing a face mask, those type of nurturing activities. It could be going for a walk. Especially if you're not feeling under the weather, if you do have your physical energy, bask in the miracle that is your body. Celebrate your body and just recognize I'm moving energy right now. I know that whenever I'm feeling funky energy, if I just decide to switch up my environment and go for a walk for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, I always come back feeling differently. If I can just immerse myself in nature, in the fresh air, I feel better. Another tip that I have here is a Pilates video or a yoga video on YouTube. There's so much free content available. If you can just click it on, roll out your mat and do the best you can, even if it's just a 10-minute video, just moving your body and making that conscious choice to tend to you is really going to support you. And once the body and mind have been taken care of and you start to feel more strong and grounded in yourself, this is an excellent time to make a decision that the funk is over and you are back and you are better than ever. Even if it feels like you might have to fake it till you make it for a little while, keep telling yourself the story, keep reminding yourself of that decision that you made, that the funk is over. Something that I recently learned from a coach that I just purchased a program from is that the Latin root of the word decision is decidere. I believe that might be how you pronounce it. Me and my pronunciations. But it means to cut away. It means to cut away anything that is not that. So imagine that making this decision that you are out of the funk now is like drawing a line in the sand, stepping over it and being like, no, funky energy, you ain't coming back here. I am at my next level now. I have exited the portal and I am vibing higher than ever. And in that decision making, you have an opportunity to leap. What I like to create for myself every time that I feel a funk is that I'm not just bouncing back to where I was before. I am leaping to the next level. I'm not just going back to feeling good again and remembering who I am. Of course, that's a part of the process, but I am about to really step into an entirely new state of being that is my up level. And I had to release some things. I had to purge some thoughts, some doubts, some fears in order to get to that next level. And for me personally, what I did in my my decision and my leap into the next level was, because I had recognized the things that were showing up in my mind that were fears or resistance or doubts were around career and what I was going to do this year. I decided, okay, there it is. That's what I need to illuminate, and that I need to blow up these fears and I need to leap for the next level. I'm looking for a stretch. And it's actually what inspired me to invest in a program by a coach that I've been following for a while that I just felt really drawn to. And I was like, I feel like I know that she's the one that's going to stretch me. She's going to stretch me. There's just something about her being that she's exuding that I'm like, yeah, I am so ready for those codes. And I really admire the content that she puts out there. I find it very, very valuable, and I appreciate that. And so I invested in this program with this new coach, and I am feeling already into that better than ever before energy, because I know that when I am leaping, it always requires a stretch. There's always a little bit of discomfort. So I hope that that inspires you to reframe your funky energy whenever, if ever it shows up. If it's here right now, draw that line in the sand. It's over now. Follow these tips. I trust you'll feel a lot better. But I hope that this inspired you, and I hope that you remember it or choose to come back to it anytime when you feel that funky energy around, because it is time for the up level. That's all that the funky energy is, whether it's happening in your body and you're viscerally releasing something if you're feeling under the weather, or if it's just some thoughts that just seem to be perpetuating. This is your time to truly shed it. And if you are someone who desires or feels like you're desiring right now a stretch in your reality, I would love to invite you into my latest group coaching program. This is a 4-month group program, and it is a combination of IPEC's Law of Being course and weekly coaching with me. There's also incredible bonuses such as an ELI assessment. If you follow the link down to the Law of Being page in the show notes, there will be a lot more information on that and the bonuses, but that itself is valued at $500 USD for an assessment. It's basically like a behavioral attitude assessment, and really lets you know where in your life you're operating perhaps at a lower level of energy and where your next level is. It really points to it so that you can choose, okay, this is what I'm ready to adjust. Those of you who might be listening who have been in some of my masterminds before, this has been a bonus in those containers as well. And I know that you know the magic of it. It's hard to really vocalize how much one of these assessments can really transform your reality. But besides that bonus, the Law of Being program, like I said, it's a 4-month group coaching program. We will go through this IPEC course together, and it's all about conditioning being into you, right? So some of the modules are being abundance, being health, being wealth, being happiness. So when we are being versus doing or trying, things come to us effortlessly. So think about somebody who is very healthy, fit, vibrant, perhaps always at the gym, right? They are being health. That's just like breathing for them. It's not a question of whether or not they're going to move their body that day. They feel very passionate about what they're doing. And thus, the byproduct of that is a healthy body, is a serious glow up. Or if you think about someone who is being abundance, I would say that I'm somebody who is being abundance, they naturally just attract like really beautiful, amazing, like how did that even happen, opportunities for themselves. And for me, like I said, I could say that I'm being abundance, but taking the Law of Being program last year, at the beginning of last year, completely changed the trajectory of my year. As I was fully nomadic, like the integration of the things that I'll say is like really being health, being abundance, being wealth, and being happiness. Like these modules specifically stick out to me. it was like no matter where I was in the world, no matter what was going on, I knew that I would always have more than enough. And I knew that I was highly resourced. I knew that how to tap into my potential, and I knew how to orient myself to be a magnet for health, for wealth, for finances, for things to just work out really abundantly for me. So that's why I'm super passionate about bringing forth this program. I also haven't launched a mastermind since last May. So this is like a 4-month, normally my masterminds are 6 months. This is like a 4-month mastermind on steroids because we are like going all in and the work is so much fun. So if you're feeling the call for that up level in your reality, I would love to invite you inside Law of Being. And the link is in the show notes. If there's any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I love you guys and sending you all the positive energy to just really get you leaping out of any funky energy. And I will talk to you very soon. Bye.